In this video, I'll show you how to spice up your videos by adding sound effects, music, and color filters, and I'll do it by finishing up a fictitious movie trailer that I created, also in Camtasia. Let's get into it. So the project I'm going to be working on here is the fake movie trailer that I created in the last video that I made for the purposes of showing you how to make a hologram and cloning yourself and stuff like that. It's kind of a fun video. It's rather long, but if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link to it up above and in the description below. So the first thing I want to do is I want to tidy up the timeline a little bit here, just to make it easier to work with. And I should also let you know that before you go ahead and add the sound effects and the music, it's a really good idea to completely finish your video editing, like everything else in the timeline, the story. Make sure all of that is totally complete before you move on to the audio editing, because it just makes things a lot easier. If you have to go back and make edits to the video, sometimes you could mess up your audio. So if at all possible, finish your video editing first before moving on to the audio. So now that the video editing is complete here, let's go ahead and clean this up. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to identify everything that's the video and everything that's the audio. So if we look at this, down on this track number 1 here, I've got the audio, basically the voiceover, and everything else is video, all these different effects that I added and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and group all the video stuff together. I'll highlight it all like this. Now there is some audio in this here, but that's okay. All we really need, I just want to keep the main part of the audio out so that I can kind of identify when things happen. So with all the video clips selected, I'm going to right click and click on group. Okay, so that is the video. And let's go ahead and rename our track here, video. Okay, and I'm going to double click and name this voiceover. That's what it mostly is. Now I like to add music to the bottom track. So I'm going to right click here on this track and add, I'm going to go to insert track and I'm going to click below. That'll insert a new track below. I'm actually going to add a second track and I'll show you why. Right click again, insert track below. Okay, so we've got 2 tracks down here for the music. Now I've already pre-selected some music. I went to motionarray.com. I have an account with them where I can download royalty-free music. So I've already got music and it's up here. I've already loaded it into my media bin. Okay, and it's right here. So I'm going to click this and drag it down to the timeline. Okay, now as you can see, the music is longer than the actual video. The video is just over a minute long and the music comes out to here. So we're not going to need it all. We're going to have to make some adjustments to it. Let's increase the size of our track here just to make it a little bit easier. And now let's just play this just to see what it sounds like. So again, I've already looked at this. I knew what kind of music that I wanted. So let's just go ahead and play this. Want to see something totally cool? This is super top secret. Check it out. See this? So the first thing I notice about this music track is it starts off relatively low in volume, just with a couple of beats in the music. And then look, you can tell by looking at the waveforms here that it's getting progressively louder. Let's just put the playhead here and play that. And even press to watch a video. Okay, so I think that's a little bit too loud with respect to how loud the voiceover is. And it looks even louder here. So if we just click here, a little too loud. So let's just go ahead and make some edits. And to make edits to the volume, see, I notice right here, this looks like a place where it gets a little bit louder. This sound looks quite a bit taller than this one. It was just a little too loud. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to bring the whole thing down. And you can do that by clicking on this volume level and just bringing it down like this. So that lowers the volume for the entire thing. So I'm going to do that for everything. And then at this point here, let's just zoom in a little bit. At this point here, I am going to right click and I'm going to click on add audio point. And then I'm going to do the same thing right in front of it. So 2 audio points side by side. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow me to have a different volume level here than here. So now I'm going to click here and drag this a little bit lower. Let's just back up this on the timeline. So I'm trying to match up the volume of this one here with this one. Okay, so that looks close. Now let's just play that section just to see if it sounds okay. Okay, it's very subtle. You can't really tell that much. And then it looks like it's going to start to get louder here as well. To zoom. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to right click, add an audio point, right click, add another audio point here, lower it a little bit more. And then this to me looks like it's probably going to be too loud. Let's just play that section of it. Someone's coming. Off. Yeah, a little too loud. Well, let's just play this through. Okay, so the music was too loud for that whole section. Couldn't really hear the dialogue very well, so I am going to lower this further. Right click, add audio point, and right click right beside it, add another one, and let's lower this even further, quite a bit further. Bring this one down more. I think that probably looks good. Let's just try that. Let's so here is where there is some dialogue, so let's just see what that sounds like, the two of them together. What the hell is this? What the... Okay, and you can kind of play around with it. If you think it's too loud, you can lower it, and you can add more adjustments like this. You have an unlimited number of audio points that you could put into your audio edits if you want, but I think that's probably fine. Now, I want to add something a little bit extra at the very end. So when it cuts to black right there, I like there to be like a kind of like a boom, like a big sound in the music to happen as the video ends. If we scroll over and see let's just listen to the ending of this. That would be a nice place to, I mean, we could put that section over here when it ends. Let's just play this further. I think that would sound even better. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut this. I'm going to end the music here at the end of the video. So let's just select the audio and press S to split it. And then I want to grab this section of the music from here to the end. So let's go ahead and, whoops, double click there. Let's put this right before that sound there, and let's split this again. I'm going to delete that section, and let's bring this back. Now, I'm not going to put it at the end just like this. This is going to be a lot easier to see if I zoom in. Okay, I want that boom, this sound here, I want that to happen right here as it goes black. So that's why I added the second track here. So I have a blank track here. I'm going to select this ending, drag it up here, and I'm going to move it so that that sound, and it's hard to see because the track is small, make it larger. And that looks like it's lined up pretty good with that. Let's just see what that looks, or what that sounds like. Okay, I think I need to end this music there. And let's see what that sounds like. Okay, let's make a slight adjustment. We'll go up to View. I'm going to turn off timeline snapping so I can make minor adjustments. Let's make it like that. And maybe let's bring the volume up here. Okay, we have a little bit of a lead in here. That's probably good. Kind of blends the two together, the two music tracks. I think that's good. I think that's good. And now at this point, let's fade the music out. So we had it playing. So from there, let's just see how long we want this to play. Okay, when that note comes there, let's add a audio point there. And then let's put one over here, right click, add audio point, and let's at this point bring this straight down to 0, so we'll fade. Okay, and I can imagine some credits going up on the screen or something like that. So that's as far as we need this. At this point, I can highlight the audio track, press S, and then we'll just delete what's left there at the end. So that should be it for our music. Let's go ahead and give this a listen to. Actually, I can drop these down now. Let's make these smaller, the music tracks. And let's just make sure the beginning sounds okay. Want to see something totally cool? This is super top secret. Check it out. It's a hologram. Go through Camtasia's support. I can pinch to zoom. I'm just checking the areas where there's audio, voiceover, and just to make sure that the music's not overpowering the audio. And even press to watch a... It's okay. All in thin air. Someone's coming. Shut off. It's okay. I think that sounds good. So just to tidy this up, let's go ahead and highlight both of these since they overlap here, and let's right click and group them so they only take up one track. Okay, so there is our music track, and there is our voiceover, and there's our video. Let's go ahead and double click this and call this music. Okay, next you want to move on to sound effects. Now, again, I've already gone and gotten some sound effects. There's a few that I'm going to use, and I went again to motionarray.com to get these. Any royalty-free sound effect supplier will do. Actually, you could, if you sign up for TechSmith's Camtasia assets, you can get sound effects in there as well. So, but I got these from Motion Array, and I've already loaded them into my bin here. These are all the audio files. What I want, in this case, I'm going to want 2 tracks again. So let's go ahead and right click here and insert track above. So we have 2 tracks. So again, I'm going to have the music track on the first track. Then I'm going to build my sound effects here. 2 tracks just in case I want to overlap some sound effects. And then we've got the voiceover and the video. So what I'm going to do first is I want to identify, you can scrub through your video and identify where you might want to put sound effects. One thing I know I want to do is when this hologram is displayed, I want there to be like a background, kind of like a buzzing noise, like electricity noise, something like that. And I found one at Motion Array, and right here it's called Electric Buzz. So let's go ahead and with the playhead, let's identify where that hologram appears. So it appears right there. Okay, now let's click the electric buzz and we'll drag it down to our timeline. I'll put it down here, and it's not going to snap because I turned snapping off. Let's enable timeline snapping, and we'll snap it right here. Okay, let's just have a quick listen. Okay, so the location in the timeline is good, but that's way too loud. So let's go ahead and reduce the volume. Let's see what that is like. It's a hologram. I think that's good. You can tell the difference. If you want to hear what it sounds like without it, just press this to hide the track there. It's a hologram. And then put it back on. Look, just a subtle buzz in the background. And now how long do we want that to last? Right there where this disappears, where it becomes disengaged from the controller, I think is a good place to end it, right there. Let's just kind of play the ending. Okay, and at that point the music is louder, so you can't even really tell when it ends. I think people's perceptions would have shifted to listening to the music, watching the story. They probably would have forgotten about the buzz sound anyways. So that looks like a good place for that. Now, what else do we want to add? if we go through this, I want to add, so actually as soon as I press to turn it on, I found a noise for right there. So just as I tap that, let's add so I found one called Power Up that I thought sounded really good. So it's right here. Let's drag that down to here. And now let's just make the track a little larger. And to me, that looks like it's going to be too loud, but let's just have a listen.
It's a hologram.
Okay, a little too loud. Let me lower that down. And I think I want to back it up a little bit. Oh, we want to turn. Here we go. Now view, disable timeline snapping. Let's back this up a little bit. Let's try that. Maybe there.
It's a hologram.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. Let's keep going and see what I do next.
Look, I can go through Camtasia's support pages.
Boom, right there. So when I press on that, right there, I want there to be a noise. And I found another good one for that, and it is called water drops. Again, if you had, there we go, you had, 5 different people sound designing a video like this, you'd come up with 5 different ways to do it. So it's really your personal preference, but I thought this sounded pretty good. Let's see what that looks like. See if I've got it lined up right on the timeline. Maybe a little too loud. Lower it a little bit more. That's probably good. Okay, now I'm making some motion with my finger there. And for that one I'm going to use a whoosh sound that I did not download from Motion Array this time, but I have downloaded it before, and it's something I use in a lot of my videos. Therefore, I've saved it in my Camtasia library. So let's go get that from the library. So from the media bin, this tab is selected right now. That's all the files we're working with in this project. But let's go over to the library tab here, and under Rob's library, right here, I've got one called, and I've named these myself, I've got this called Sound Effects Whoosh In. So let's click that and drag it down and put it here. Let's just see what that sounds like. And make some adjustments so the sound happens at the right time. Okay, it happens, so I motion up twice. Yep, so what we want to do is highlight this, Control C, Control or Command C to copy it, and then Control or Command V to paste for another one. And these may be able to be back to back. Let's just see what that sounds like. Okay, this one happened too late. I'm actually going to shorten this. I could add a third track for sound effects, but it doesn't look like much happens here after the first one, so this might do the same thing. Let's see what that looks like. I think that's good. Perfect.
I can pinch to zoom.
I don't think we need a sound effect for that one. I mean, you could, but I'm not going to add one for the pinch to zoom.
And pinch to zoom. And even press to watch a video.
Okay, that I'm pressing the screen again, so that is the same as what I did back here. Okay, so I'm going to take that same sound. I've already adjusted the volume, so we're going to keep that. Control C to copy that. And where was that?
And even press to watch a video.
Right there. So Control V to paste it. I think that happened too late. Yep, so let's zoom in a little bit. Drag this back. I think that's good. Perfect. So I think that's probably enough for the sound effects. Let's just zoom out here and see what we've got. So I just added some right in here. these are all the sound effects. So once again, just to wrap up the sound effects, I am going to highlight all the sound effects in both of these two tracks, right click, and I'm going to group them together. Okay, keeps everything nice and tidy. Let's go over here and name this track SFX for sound effects. And we can now actually right click this track and let's remove the track. There's nothing on it, just to tighten things up. Now the last thing, actually there's two more things I want to show you to really make this cinematic. So we've got our music and the sound effects. I want to actually look into color filters now. So movies typically have their own color scheme, if you will. And I don't know, this kind of just looks like a YouTube video or a whole movie, say, right? But we can give it its own type of coloring. I'm not exactly sure what to call it. A filter, right? Its own filter. And Camtasia has many color filters built in. Let's just highlight the video track and we'll go up to Visual Effects, click on that, and now click this tab here called Filters. Okay, and you'll see there are all kinds of different filters and they all give a slightly different look to the videos. Okay, so there's one that I like that's down here, teal and orange. So you can click on it and drag it down to your video. And see how everything just kind of changed? I look very yellow now in this video. So that's basically a color filter that's been added. And if you don't like the first one that you choose, you don't have to go back up in here to grab and try another one. The easiest thing to do is to come up here in the properties where it says color LUT. And incidentally, if you want to see what it looks like without it on, you can toggle this on and off like this to see the difference that it's making. Okay. You can also lower the intensity of it. So all the way down as if it wasn't even there, or all the way up. So you can adjust it like that. And if you want to try one of the other filters, just click here where it says teal and orange. And it's a LUT is what it is. LUT stands for look up table. It's like mathematical calculations. I don't know exactly how it works. It's all color science, but it's called a LUT. You may have heard of that before. Click on this LUT, teal and orange, and you'll see all the different types of LUTs, all the available LUTs here. Okay, and you can try any of them. So you can try the Mission to Mars, and then it changes it. Again, you can change the intensity to any of these. Okay. Well, I'm going to go back to the teal and orange. I like that one. Okay, and maybe drop the intensity a little bit. Okay, that looks good. So that's a color filter. Now, one last thing I want to show you. Typically, when you go see a movie, it's not in the aspect ratio 16:9, which is what most YouTube videos are, and it's what this video is here. To give this a more cinematic look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add basically blinders on the top and the bottom, but I'm also going to animate them. So I'll show you how to do this. I'm going to use my mouse wheel just to zoom out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go up here to Annotations, I'm going to go to Shapes, and I'm going to grab a square shape like this, put it in the top corner, stretch it out like this. Okay, I'm going to change the color of it over here in the properties. Going to change the color to black. Okay. All right, that's looking a little bit more cinematic, but let's go ahead and copy that and paste it. Get another copy of it, and we'll click and drag this one down to the bottom. Okay, just like that. Now let's highlight them both in the timeline. Let's have them start at the beginning of the video and stretch them all the way to the end. Okay. I turn timeline snapping back on, so this snaps right to the end. Okay. But what I want to do is I want to animate these. Okay, so the way to do that is, let's go back to the very beginning. Let's go up to Animations. We'll grab a custom animation. We'll drag it down. Okay, let's just zoom in here a little bit. Okay, and I want to animate from the beginning. At the beginning, I want this to be completely off the screen like that. Let's just see how long that takes for that to animate into place.
Want to see something totally cool?
That's okay, but I think I want it to happen slower. So you can press here and you can see the duration. Currently it's 1 second. Let's make that, Well, let's make it 2 seconds and 15 frames. And let's see what that looks like.
Want to see something total?
I think that is pretty cool. So that's exactly what we want. Let's go ahead and drag another one down to the other one, the one on the top. Okay. And let's make it the same length in the timeline. And at the beginning of this one, I'm going to hold Shift and drag that up and off. Okay. Now let's bring the animations back to the very beginning. And I think that might have it. Okay, let's just take a quick look at that.
Want to see something totally cool?
Nice.
This is super top secret. Check it out.
There's one more thing that I almost forgot. Towards the end here, so I shot this video in 16:9. Now we're cutting off some of the top and the bottom. But I remember towards the end here when my clone comes in, yeah, look right there. My face is off the screen. I think it would be better if I could see my face there. But I don't want to lower the entire video because I want to be able to see this controller as well in this trailer. So what I think I have to do, let's leave it there for most of the video. But at this point, when I get up to the door, that's probably a good time to maybe lower this. So let's go ahead and add an animation. Bring this down here to the video. So I know I'm breaking my golden rule of editing a video after I've already done the sound editing, but this one little edit's not probably going to cause any troubles. So let's go ahead. So I want this to animate. So at the end, let's click. I'm going to press Shift and I'm going to click this and drag it down. May not have to go all the way down. Let's take canvas snapping off. Bring that up a little bit so we can see some of the controller. Just see what that looks like. Okay, the animation can happen a lot slower than that. Let's do it over that length of time, say. A little more subtle. Okay, I think that should do it. So let's go ahead and play that one last check.
Want to see something totally cool? This is super top secret. Check it out. See this? Looks like a drone controller. But can a drone controller do this? It's a hologram. Look, I can go through Camtasia's support pages. I can pinch to zoom. And even press to watch a video.
Oftentimes during editing,
All in thin air.
all of the clips on a track at once. It's more efficient to
Someone's
hold
coming.
Shift.
Shut off. Very good. If you want more tips like this, come join me on Tuesdays for my weekly live stream. I live stream every Tuesday here on YouTube, sharing my screen and doing how-to tutorials. I show you how I make my videos and I answer any questions you have live. So if you're looking to level up your videos, join me on Tuesdays. I'm Rob and I'll see you in the next video or in a live stream. I'll see you soon.